Hi, Charles Moman here. Well, here I am in front of my retaining wall, and a Facebook memory popped up the other day, and I was never really sure how long ago it's been that I made this wall, and it turns out it's 10 years ago. Probably around this time, 10 years ago in the spring, and we had some maple trees cut down, and so it was kind of a mess. I had concrete, all this new driveway put in, and so it was kind of a mess here, so I just asked them to grade this down a little bit because I had an idea for a retaining wall. So since the last update, I got a drone, so of course I had to throw in some drone footage there. I also had my first crash hitting the flag, but it did okay. It's fine. And so I've had people constantly ask me about the wall. How's it doing? Quite often, the 2019 update, I think it is, it's in the top 10 of my views each month on YouTube. And you know, I'm up to 2.5 million views overall with my runaway camper. And if you may not have seen, I also did my wife and I did a van conversion on a Ford Transit. We did it, finished it a year ago, and we have an extensive van build series if you have any interest in that. So just as a quick reminder, I'm going to see if I can get the original video that shows this while I'm stacking it, watering it. My wife is filming. I think I saw that the other day. Let me dig for that.
Well, here is our new retaining wall. And I looked on the internet and I googled cheap retaining wall. And it said to get concrete mix bags and stack them like you would stack bricks.
But this is approximately 95 to 98 40-pound bags of concrete. I haven't seen them at Home Depot or Lowe's, so I don't know if you can't get that small size. I would hate to have to do the 80-pound and do this. I've seen variations where people make their own somehow with bags and stuff, and you know, you can make that work, but I use 40-pound bags of Saccrete, stack them, and I really didn't prepare this bottom row like I should have with a bunch of gravel, but I lucked out, it worked out. We have very sandy soil here, so it worked out. So I stacked 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom row and 3 on the top row, and watered them down like crazy, and it's after a while peeled off the paper, and it looks great. I wanted the look of an old wall, and that first summer I actually had people would come down. Not many people see this. We're at the end of a dead-end street. Got a 80-acre field over here, just got planted with corn a couple days ago, but people think it's been here a long time, so it's the look I want. So let's take a look at this top row. This one right here that you see broken, I'm quite sure I did that when I was digging up the tall grasses, but it's not going anywhere, and I could mortar it and put it in, but for right now it's fine. So most of it's okay. What's happened with some of this crumbling is little bitty plants growing in there that I don't take care of and get out of there. So those little plants actually can do a lot of damage, but for the most part it's hanging in there. Here's one of my new short grasses, another one. And then if we look at the second row, it's pretty much the same. Again, that's a little bit of deterioration there, but it's not hurting a thing at all. It really isn't, and it just makes it look like I want it. Older wall. And then the grass, I haven't really worked hard on getting the grass to grow in here, but it's slowly spreading, and maybe I'll plant some more grass. I just don't babysit it. And so every year I kind of plant this differently. I used to just do annuals each year, but now, and I always overloaded it. I'd fill it all up, and then of course they would grow, and then it'd be overrun. It'd be crazy. And then a few years ago I added some tall grasses, and let me show you the tall grasses over there right now. So these tall grasses here are what I had on the top row, and they just overwhelmed that retaining wall. So I had a bunch to choose from, so I dug up some small ones and replaced them. And they will work a lot better. They were pretty, but they to me they were out of proportion, just gigantic, and it just, to me, it looked crazy. So I murdered them last fall, and it was difficult with an axe. I had to cut them all out, deep, heavy roots, but I got them all out, and I replaced the top 4 with ones that won't get much above this. So I think it'll be more proportional. And then I started planting 2 years ago, I know for last year for sure, I started putting in perennials. And I'm resisting the urge. There's gaps right now, but these perennials spread out like crazy. And last year I put annuals in between, and you couldn't even see them after a while. They were covered up. So I'm trying to control myself and not overload. I had an interesting comment. I had one guy saying, what? He was complaining that since I told people you shouldn't walk on this, that it didn't qualify as a retaining wall. I didn't know there were retaining wall rules, but he said it's just decoration. That's exactly what it is. It's decoration. I mean, he nailed it without. He thought he was, criticizing me, but it is a retaining wall because this little hill is not washing away. So it is a retaining wall, even if you can't stand on it. You shouldn't. But that doesn't make it not a retaining wall, and it certainly is decoration. That's exactly what I want. So anyway, there's just a little update. The perennials made it so much easier. So, I mean, I didn't do anything. I added just a couple of plants the other day. But other than that, this is all going to fill out. And then so there's a little update about my retaining wall. I think it's just a really nice feature as you come down the street and see this. I think it's added a lot to our property. There you go. There's the latest on the retaining wall, and it's beautiful, and we love it. And thanks for watching.